Can I ask you a question without you getting offended?
Sure, Charlie Brown. What is it?
Why can't black people forget about slavery? I mean, it ended all those years ago, and yet when something happens with your people, it's brought back up. Why?
Well, do you have a pretty good vivid imagination?
I think so. What should I imagine?
Imagine that I knocked all your teeth out your fucking head. How soon do you think that you'd forget?
Well, I probably wouldn't forget anytime soon. Especially since my teeth were gone.
Exactly. And you would probably forgive me, but you would never forget. And the only time it's brought up is when something remotely similar happens.
This state I was in, I was what?
What does that mean to you, Black History Month?
It means that that's racism because they don't celebrate White History Month. We don't have it. I'm part Italian. I don't have Italian History Month. So what I think it's doing is perpetuating what this divide is in our nation, quite honestly, because I don't feel like that should be highlighted. I don't think that they should be pushing their agenda on myself because I'm a straight male. I have a wife and I have children. I don't think that I should have to be bombarded and brainwashed through media, through those months or Pride, Black History. I don't think that's something that should be, dictated to me.
Is it a learning opportunity?
Not at all, because when I was in school, we learned that, certain black leaders, things like that. I don't need to hear it every single year for a whole month.
Yo, so we back in here for another edition of F-ya-Motha, and the fucking stupidity of some people in America is staggering, right? He's talking about there is no Italian history month. And this, as a sidebar, I did a video on why Italians were white. If you look this motherfucker, and I'm probably gonna screenshot his ass, he looks plenty fucking white to me. These people want it both ways. Can't have it both ways. But he's talking about how there wasn't any White History Month or Italian History Month in Certus Columbus Day. And while that's not Italian History Month, it says right here the Italian Americans began heavily embracing and promoting the history of Christopher Columbus in the late 19th century, particularly around 1892, to fight discrimination and foster acceptance in the U.S. facing intense prejudice. They adopted the Genoese explorer as a symbol of pride and established their plan in American history as a symbol of pride to establish their place in American history. My bad. It says right here, symbol of acceptance. Italians utilized 1892 400th anniversary celebration of Columbus to assert their contribution to America, to countering negative stereotypes. Knights of Columbus, the organization played a major role in lobbying for a formal holiday, which is solidified by President Franklin D. Roosevelt following continued efforts in 1934. Italian recognition in Italy, a national Giornata National di Cristoforo Colombo was officially introduced only in 2004. That's over in Italy. So the fact that this motherfucking moron can actually sit up here and say that there wasn't no Italian History Month is fucking ludicrous. As another sidebar, it says right here, traditionally seen as Italian from Genoa, recent DNA research suggests Christopher Columbus was more likely Spanish and Sephardic Jewish Sephardic Jewish heritage. Crypto Jewish. I don't even know what the created nigga. Crypto Jewish, whatever. Possibly from Mediterranean coast, Balearic Islands, who hid his identity due to the Spanish Inquisition, while the Genoa origin is a long held. New DNA evidence from his remains point to Spanish Jewish background, contradicting the traditional narrative and reigniting debate about his ethnicity and early life. So the nigga may not even been Jewish. So, you know what I'm saying? They was rallying for a lost cause. Just want to be a part of some shit. Fucking hate people. But yeah, the fact that this dude is that much of a moron and doesn't know like why black people have Black History Month is because the inception of a Black History Month was because it wasn't taught in mainstream schools. And because most black schools were actually shut the fuck down and black folks had to go and be taught by white people in inner city American schools, yeah, they wasn't in the knack for teaching black people black history. So that's why we have Black History Month. And on top of all that, he said he feels like he's, what the fuck? He feels like he's being oppressed by having to listen to it. These fucking people are the worst. They feel it. They feel the incessant need to use the word oppressed whenever some shit just doesn't sit right with them, or it annoys them or irritates them. That's not what fucking oppression is. Nobody's making you learn shit. And if they give, last time I checked, and I went to public school, even when they did teach Black History Month, it was like footnotes. It wasn't like it was the whole fucking year. You can't go 20, it ain't even 30 days. You can't go 28 fucking days with them talking about historical facts that happened to black people, right? It's bad enough they teach you nothing but whitewashed information in this country, right? They teach you shit like George Washington Carver made peanut butter, which is far from the fucking truth, right? He was a botanist that actually learned multiple uses for the peanut seed, right? He actually didn't invent peanut butter. That we'll give credit to a white man for that. But he actually suggested earlier writings that peanuts could be actually used in a cream or paste. That's not to say he invented it. He had more fucking important things to do than to make peanut butter. But that's what we was taught, that he invented peanut butter. Like, so the fact that we get misinformation, no information, they don't even teach civil rights in like its proper context. All we get is Malcolm X and We Had a Dream and the civil rights passage of the Civil Rights Act. They don't go into detail that Lyndon B. Johnson was a fucking racist. They don't go into the fact that the American government actually settled in a lawsuit with the Martin Luther King's family for the assassination of King. They don't go into all that. They don't go into how the American government actually set up and killed Fred Hampton. They don't go into detail of that, right? Which is part of history, because if I'm not mistaken, Fred Hampton actually was a political activist against oppression of black people in America. But I say this all the time, never let nothing like logic get in the way of a good scam. So that's why we was given Black History Month, so that just footnotes could be taught, right? The rest of the shit you got to go on Google, or you got to go and learn at a HBCU, right? When you get out of high school, because they don't teach shit. They teach you white men was superior, scalped the Native Americans, brung some niggas over here, make them pick cotton, and now we got internet. They don't give you no type of fucking facts. They don't give you nothing. They literally gloss over slavery, go to the Industrial Revolution, hit you with civil rights, maybe the Berlin Wall, and then we here. They may mention in some schools the Cold War, but that's about all you gonna get. You ain't gonna get no real shit, right? They not gonna give you facts about Ida B. Wells, which is imperative to American history. They not gonna teach you that California was actually sold to the American government by the Mexicans in fucking 1831. They not gonna teach you that shit, which is why you got a whole bunch of dumbass Mexicans running around talking about how we're the Native Americans and the indigenous people, and America stole the land. They ain't steal shit. Y'all motherfuckers sold it for $15 million or $15 billion. I think it was. Was it $15 billion? Let me see. It might have been. I'm fucking that up. I've said it. How much did It was 15 million, which would have been roughly in today's currency about 250 billion or 200 billion. Yeah, but if you leave it to them, yeah, they stole the land and shit just because of miseducation. These motherfuckers are dense, don't know history. They're getting miseducated. Everybody else is being miseducated. White folks is miseducated. They think that the American government stole the fucking land. They don't teach real history. So that's why, as far as this white guy feeling like he's oppressed, having to listen to Black History Month and the things that teach thereof, sir, you ain't been to school in about 45, 50 fucking years. It shouldn't be bothering you. You don't want your kids to learn the truth. See, that's the problem. These motherfuckers don't want to learn the truth. They don't want their kids to learn the truth. And what we have is a generation of dickheads that grow up oppressing the same people, right? Repeating the fucking pattern, because while they was in the household, their parents were saying dumb shit like this. They wasn't being educated. They didn't know shit about Black History Month and things that of Black history that happened within this country, and they be the same stupid motherfuckers that get miseducated on Twitter talking about blacks sold blacks into slavery, which was further from the truth also. That just, if you never cracked open a fucking book, or they didn't teach you like real history in school, never mind Black history, just real history in general, you wouldn't know that. That's why a lot of people think that critical race theory is oppressive to white people. It's because it's uncomfortable. You never heard it, so now that it bothers you, you feel some type of way because you were neglected. They didn't teach you shit, and then you just grow up to be a sensitive ass white person that don't like real history because you never was taught it. In any event, if y'all like this episode, you know what they're doing. Is out.
No one's ready.